So the question has been posed, if you could smoke a pipe with anybody, who might that person be? My mind immediately goes to three individuals, first of which is Albert Einstein. And as much as I admire Einstein and have loved reading about his physics, the theory of relativity, things like that, I have a hunch most conversation would be lost on me in that circumstance. So that brings me on to two fellows from Oxford University by the name of J.R.R. Tolkien and C.S. Lewis. Perhaps you've heard of them. Most of my life, if you had asked me this question, I probably would have hands down said J.R.R. Tolkien. It was through The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings that I first was introduced into fantasy and really science fiction, for that matter. And I admire and have great respect for anybody that has an imagination to the scale of J.R.R. Tolkien and, can create an entire world that is filled with such magic and mystery and intrigue, and has spawned, obviously, some multi-million-dollar movies. That doesn't hurt too much either. But his pub buddy and fellow pipe smoker, C.S. Lewis, is actually going to be my choice if I were to be able to smoke a pipe with anyone and just have a good old-fashioned chat. As much as I admire J.R.R. Tolkien, I get the impression maybe he was a little too scholarly for me, and maybe for most folks. And he was moderately critical of his good friend, C.S. Lewis, in terms of how Lewis wrote the Chronicles of Narnia and made them perhaps too overtly Christian in nature. And the interesting part of that, if you weren't aware, is that C.S. Lewis was an agnostic until he met J.R.R. Tolkien, and later became a Christian because of their interactions and their friendships. So for him to write juvenile fiction based in Christianity was really kind of an interesting breakthrough. And I enjoyed the Chronicles of Narnia to a lesser extent than the Tolkien novels. But where C.S. Lewis got me was with his Christian theological writings. Screwtape Letters was the first one that I read, which brought in an interesting moral relativism, I'll call it, into Christianity, and into a fiction novel. Very easy to read, but meant for adults, 130 pages or something like that. But really just a great look into a person's soul, or in this case, one person's soul. But beyond that, books like Mere Christianity, The Problem of Pain, really make Christianity, Christian philosophy, moral philosophy accessible to people that are not maybe as scholarly, or think that philosophy and Christian philosophy is above them and above their ability to understand. C.S. Lewis breaks these down into language that anybody can understand, and for that, I think I gather just from his writings that he was probably a pretty down-to-earth and approachable dude, and somebody I would much like to sit down and drink with, have a pub beer and a nice pipe with. But in honor of these two gentlemen, I've got a little London mixture in my Luca Venetti this evening. But the other piece with C.S. Lewis is that I stumbled across his books. I had read Chronicles of Narnia as a junior high and high school kid. But I stumbled across his philosophy as a post-college kid when my father was dying of cancer. And to read The Problem of Pain and to read the Screwtape Letters really helped dial me into the situation at hand, and really kept me grounded during a pretty rough period of time in my life. So for that, I applaud C.S. Lewis. Homestead Piper, this one goes out for you. You were the one who asked the question, and this is my answer. But no matter who you are or where you are, I hope you're having a great evening. We'll talk to you again soon.